Knights were doing. What exactly?
Am I missing something?
We have been told not to say it, so we're.
After a much-earned Red River bye week, the Sooners still stand at the top of the WCHL, albeit in a tie with UCO. OU boasts a plus 20 goal differential in the games they've played thus far. Now, things get tougher. A stiffer opponent comes stampeding into Oklahoma this weekend for a prime-time matchup. The Colorado Buffaloes. Division play starts this weekend. Now we go live to Arctic Edge Ice Arena. This is hockey time in Oklahoma.
I'm still feeling pretty good after that Red River win, that's for sure. Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome to Hockey Time in Oklahoma. I'm your host, Ben Dackey. With me is OU hockey head coach Peter Arvanitis. Coach, thank you for sitting down with me today.
Absolutely. Happy to be here again.
What was your Red River itinerary like on Saturday?
Oh, just like everybody else, glued on the TV and making sure OU beats Texas, and it happened.
How about Dylan Gabriel? That last drive he ran, that was masterful.
It was nice. It was nice. It's nice to see that OU came back, especially from last year. It was a hard loss, and they avenged themselves pretty well.
Venables looking pretty good guy for going in the SEC.
Yeah, it's looking good. From what all the experts are saying, you win out, you have a good shot at the college playoffs.
I mean, I was looking at it like going into the game. I was thinking to myself, Dylan, he needs a signature moment in an OU.
Oh, he got it,
and he got it. he got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, kind of moving on to more hockey talk.
Yes.
I heard rumors that you guys were working for a Red River game with the UT club hockey program. We couldn't get that done this year, but maybe something that we can look forward to in the future.
Yeah, that's something. Obviously, Brad has his thumb on all of that, and he'd be the best one to answer those questions.
Well, kind of moving back a little bit, Sooners had a bye last week, OU hockey that is, but the week before, pretty big series sweep over the Alabama Frozen Tide. Why don't you take us through that?
No, it was a good weekend. Obviously, we came out with 2 wins. That was our primary goal. We came out. I think we scored. I think it was like 16 goals in 2 games, and we only allowed, I think, was it 2 or 3. So it was a great plus minus. Guys had some great games. Yeah, Logan Cavalcanti had a hat trick one day. Andrew Lowe had a hat trick the other day. So it was good to see the freshmen just step up and get on the scoreboard. But not necessarily everybody was on the scoreboard, but everybody did what they needed to do for the victory.
Now, for the Friday game went off pretty much without a hitch. 10 goals. It wasn't a close game at pretty much any point in the contest. But Saturday, you guys ran into a bit of trouble. Bama goes up early, scores a couple of goals. Then you guys scored 5 unanswered. What's the message, and how do you get from down 2-0 to up 5-2?
No, I was happy with the way we played. You can see that we had pressure and we tilted the ice on our favor basically the whole game. It just unfortunately the puck just wasn't going in the net. So we just continued pressing and pressing, and we just continued playing our game, and eventually, you scored one, then boom, you scored second, 3, 4, and they came in bunches. So we started off good. We had a successful second period, and we finished off strong in the third.
Now, last season, Tristan Glass led the team with 18 points all year.
Yeah.
Now, at your 6 games into the season, 5 guys already have 10 points or more. How do you go from last year to this?
No, it's just a progression, and we knew as a new coaching staff that was one of our Achilles' heels was point production, and the guys we had great two-way players, but that wasn't more or less their forte, you know. And then we brought in guys that averaged literally 100 points in their junior careers, you know, and those are guys that are able to put points on the board on a regular basis. And when you add that with the mixture that we had last year, you see the results that we're getting this year.
Now, with Colorado coming into town, that Buffalo is always a team that hangs in tough, and this is going to be the WCHL opener. How does the preparation change going into division play?
No, it doesn't change at all. All it is like I advise the guys that from here on in right now, teams that you're going to be playing, they're going to be bigger, they're going to be quicker, better goaltending, better structure. So it's going to be challenging every game that you play from here on in, especially when you're getting into our conference play. So whether you play Colorado, Colorado State, UCO, it's going to be, the level of play is always going to be increased. And we just can't play at the other teams' levels. We got to play at our levels. And I think if we do that, we give ourselves a good chance to win.
Kind of taking a step back, you said that last year there were just some guys on your team who they were good two-way players, but not necessarily putting up a lot of points. But Nate Payne, who's been here for several seasons now, he's leading the team in points, and he's 5th in the WCHL in points. So how has he been able to evolve his game to this? He's into just a point threat.
Well, he was a great player for us last year. This year we just had we had more options of players to play with him. So obviously, playing with Andrew Lowe and then Ben Mondu really opens up his luggage of offensive skills, because they're very offensive minded, and they do well in the offensive zone. And him playing the power play with them, and obviously playing a 5-on-5 with them, you see the results. He's a good, smart player. He puts himself in positions where he can put pucks to the net, and when he does that, he either scores or he either gets assists off of it.
I think we all in the broadcast team, we characterized last season as a bit of a rebuilding year with all the frustrating close losses. Do you think that all those losses that you guys had to deal with last year, do you think that made the team grow together stronger? Like, was it a necessary for the building process?
Well, I didn't really call it a rebuild, rather more like a retool. Because you got to realize about literally, 66% of the guys from last year are back here this year. So I think it was more of a retool, more of giving everybody, expectations and benchmarks to reach. And, they pushed themselves towards those benchmarks. And last year I really wasn't keying on wins and losses. I was looking at basically discipline and effort. And all the guys, that's what they put in. There was a lot of discipline and effort, and they hit their benchmarks and their expectations. And this year, recruiting and bringing in guys that we think that we needed, like size, speed, and offensive skill, it just made a good mixture of the guys from last year and the players and the new guys from this year. And you see the results right now. We're 6-0, and hopefully it continues.
You brought in a lot of guys with size on the back end, and you brought in, like you just said, you brought in a lot of guys who are more scoring threats. Do you think the stronger play in front of your goaltending has led to a bit more, you're not stuck in your own zone as much, and that's led to more offensive chances?
Well, what we did is we took away the stress from our goalies and our defense play. Unfortunately, last year, our goalies had to save like 45, 50 shots a game. And this year we reduced that to literally 20. So basically, we're asking our goalies to make the first save and let our defensemen clear out everything else. And that way we can keep the puck in the offensive zone as much as we can and as long as we can. That way it just relieves the stress off our defensive play. And in doing so, you hopefully make the other teams make some defensive mistakes, and obviously we capitalize on power plays or even strength goals.
Now, it is opening week for the NHL this week.
Oh, yes.
We've got a Montreal Canadiens fan and a
right there.
Toronto Maple Leafs
Yes.
fan, and the Leafs are unfortunately losing at the moment. But why don't you tell the story of how you became a Canadiens fan for the audience at home?
Oh, it's no different than people that are born in Oklahoma, and especially in Norman. You're born with a football out here, and you're cheering for the Sooners. I was born in Montreal, Canada, and the minute you're born in Montreal, you become a Montreal Canadiens fan. No different than Toronto. So, hockey's a big passion where I'm from, and obviously Montreal's the team that I grew up with, watching. And at the time, too, they were in that era where literally they had won like 4 straight Stanley Cups.
You're aging yourself a bit here, Coach.
Yes. That's fine. That's something that's never going to happen again. So you might as well, enjoy it when it did. So, they won, several Stanley Cups, and then in the mid-'90s they won another one, and ever since then, no Canadian team has won one. So
yeah, we got to work on that.
Yeah, a little bit. So, but they're in that retool phase. They're a good team. They're a young team. But your team looks like they're a Stanley Cup contending team, so hopefully, it can work out for them.
I just want, obviously, I prefer it to be the Leafs or the Jets, but I can't, a Canadian team needs to win the friggin' cup. Like, come on!
It's been 30 years. It's about time. Yeah.
I blame Gary. But kind of the last thing I want to talk to you about here, the ACHA released their first rankings, and something that the public at home might not know is that the ACHA, to decide who goes to nationals, they use a computer ranking. And that is not what these rankings are. This is a coaches ranking, like the coaches poll that comes out for college football every week or so. And it came out today, and there are some things that weren't really surprising. Minot State, they came in at number 1. The Beavers, once again, looking like an absolute juggernaut, defending national champs. I get all that. UCO came in at number 5. They're a very good team as well. Probably going to be at the top of the WCHL with the Sooners for most of it, if not the entire season. The Sooners, however, were left off the top 25 rankings entirely. What is your reaction to that?
No reaction at all. We control what we can control. Is basically how we play the game and how many wins we get out of it. Like I said, we're 6-0, and we're not worried about coaches' polls. We're more worried about when the computer rankings come out. That will give us a better idea where they put us at, and that's literally the rankings that actually count for nationals. So like I said, we'll control what we can control. Is basically how we practice, how we play, and let everything else sort itself out.
And I think that is where we will leave it for now. We will be right back with Carson Bassett of OU Hockey. Coach, thank you for joining us this evening.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We will be right back.
Step right up. Buckle up. The only direction we're headed is... Yep, you get it. Welcome to the one and only Oklahoma.
In some ways, this film is like the university itself.
The one flagship university that has served the state since before there was a state.
Its story is never entirely completed.
Where one scoop of dirt can save thousands of lives. Where one group of biologists are connecting with world-class meteorologists to protect the one world, one planet that connects us all. Whoa, that one literally might land on the moon. But that's fine, because what's stopping us from going up there and getting it? This is a team, a squad, a family, leading a collective pursuit where we share all ideas, embrace thousands of different perspectives, and require every last hand on deck.
Cleared for takeoff.
What else we got? More trophies than you can count? Check. Rhodes Scholars? Check. Largest research engine in the state? Check. The next generation realizing a new American dream? Okay. Actually, it's better than okay. It's OKLAHOMA. It's the strength of many marching under one crimson and cream flag, creating Sooner magic that must be seen to be believed at the one university where one OU family makes up the one and only Oklahoma.
Welcome back to Hockey Time in Oklahoma. I'm Ben Dackey. With me now is forward Carson Bassett, number 91. Carson, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You've been a little banged up. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a little good.
Now, I have a bone to pick with you, sir. I was skating with you guys last week. Was someone chirping me at the bench from behind me when I was doing one of the drills? Who I know it was you.
No comment.
Well, because I have no proof of anything right now, so I'll just have to leave that. But moving on. Things are looking a lot better for you guys at this point in the season than it was a year ago. You started 2-3-1 last year, couple close losses, and you're moving into the 7th game of the year. Now you're 6-0. I mean, how do you get from there to here?
I think it comes down to just buying into the process and buying into what Pete's trying to tell us. it sounds simple because it really is simple, but it's simple things that we didn't do last year that we're now finally like putting into play and into practice as well, and I think they're paying off.
How valuable do you think last year was as a learning experience for you guys?
I think last year was such a disappointment. Just like we were close at the end of the year beating UCO, that it really fueled us to push ourselves more. And, having like bad years is not fun, but sometimes it's necessary. And I think that's really paying off, us being able to learn from last year.
Now, 12 new faces in the locker room, and you guys have had about a month and a half playing together now, a little bit more for practice purposes, but how has the vibe changed as those guys have kind of integrated themselves into the locker room?
Oh, I think it's been great. A lot of the guys are team guys, really good locker room guys, and so when you want to recruit guys, you want to make sure they're good locker room guys. So when they come in, it's been fun to have them all. It's been fun. Our first road trip was a lot of fun with the rookies, and then, it's been a good locker room.
That must have been a blast going up to Minnesota to play Waldorf. What is that? What was 10-hour bus ride?
Yeah, I think it was 10 and a half, maybe 11.
Oof, that's
That's
a long way to go with a bunch of
long.
hockey players.
Yeah, it was really long.
Now, opening week for the NHL, and Coach and I, we were going back and forth because, I'm a Leafs fan, he's a Habs fan, and after I disinfected this couch after he got up, I was thinking to myself, all right, what teams do the guys in that dressing room like? And you, my friend, you cut your teeth in the Dallas area, so I'm assuming you're a Stars fan.
Yeah, through and through a Stars fan.
That's what I figured. So how are we feeling about the Stars this year?
I'm actually really excited for them. We lost to Vegas in the conference finals last year, but we're bringing back almost a whole new team, or the same team actually, and except for a few, and so I think they're going to be good. I saw one ranking where they were number 3, so.
In the West or in the NHL?
In the NHL.
Ooh, that's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
I love the group of guys they put around Ben and Sagan because, those two, they're not going anywhere. Let's be real. The buyout, it's not happening. But
Nope.
I like how Ben looked last year, how he kind of stepped into his new role on the ice, and I think he's among some of the best captains in the league still. And DeBoer, I think he was the perfect coach to bring in. I still would have preferred Barry Trotz if he was still open to coaching, but DeBoer did a fantastic job with you guys last season.
Yeah.
And of course, your Robertsons and your Hints and your Miros. It's a very fun young group of guys around an older kind of aging core.
Right. I love it. I think Jamie Benn has been through and through for his game his whole career. I think he might have lost it a few years ago, but he's back to his normal self. Sagan's back, I think, to his somewhat normal self, and then sort of have a good veteran group that they have at the Stars, and then have a lot of skilled young guys. I think they're going to be good.
When I see Sagan when he's 100% healthy, he's still got it. He just needs to not get hurt. I think that's just how it is with him at this point. But I love watching Jamie Benn. He's always been one of my favorite players to watch. Stars games, as someone who's been to Leafs games and Stars games are a lot more fun to be in. Just the presentation and the building. The in-game the in-game host isn't annoying like the Toronto one, but the Stars put on a really good show down in Dallas.
Yeah, I really enjoy going to the games down there.
Now, the first rankings of the season for ACHA were released. What was your reaction to those?
I only saw the top 25, and I'm not going to throw any teams out under the bus, but I think
we will on Friday. Don't worry.
Okay, but I think there were a couple teams, one in our conference that probably shouldn't be ranked. I think we have at least shown something for us to be ranked. I don't know what it is or how they do the rankings, but we have stuff to back our name up now. So, a little disappointed, but I know we still got a long season left, so we're going to prove something.
It's all about just kind of plugging away and just moving forward. The coaches, some guys, they aren't going to change their minds anytime soon. But once the computer rankings come out, I feel like that paints a bit more of a broad picture. But 7 teams from the WCHL, your division, got ranked. And, of course, the usual suspects, your UNLVs, your UCOs. I think Arizona State was in there as well. But that is a tough division to play in, and that's going to be pretty much the rest of y'all's season.
Right. It's probably the best division in the ACHA Men's 1, but, we're playing in it, so it's only going to make our team better. And we're only going to get more opportunities to develop, more opportunities to showcase, who we are. And I think playing in the best conference in the ATHA only means good things for us.
Do you think that if you win a couple here against Colorado and then win a few more, maybe split with Colorado State, or maybe this team is 10-0 at the end of the month, what do you think the ceiling is for this team?
I don't think we can put a ceiling right now. I think our goal right now is to go to nationals, but I mean, Pete's told us in the past, like, he's taken teams that were ranked 18th and they went almost all the way to the final round. And he took teams that were ranked number 2 and they lost the first round. But I think our goal right now is nationals, and to put a ceiling on our team, I think is not something we should do.
A little ambition never hurt anyone. We're going to take a quick break. I'm Ben Dackey. This has been Carson Bassett. We'll be right back.
Victor puts a man down at center ice. Big hit from 24. Saved by Redmond. Rebound. He got that one too. Evan coming down the wing. Secret scores!
Big shot save made by Culbertson.
Front shot saved by Redmond. He'll hang on.
Welcome back to Hockey Time in Oklahoma. I'm Ben Dackey. With me now is defenseman number 2, Adam Goldstein. Adam, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, this is the new faces on the back end that Coach Arvanitis brought in. I have dubbed them the collection of meat, and you, sir, are the biggest of that collection. You are listed at 6'6", and I am quite short compared to you. So what is it like just being that tall and going onto the ice?
It definitely helps a lot, the physical aspect for sure, as well as just having a long stick and just like having that presence out there. It's definitely an advantage.
That long reach, that's what kept Chara in the league, even when he probably shouldn't have been in the NHL when he was like 40 years old. But how different is that, just having that long reach in front of the net?
I mean, it's nice. You can take away a lot of passing lanes and kind of just keep guys away, especially on the defensive end. It helps a lot for sure.
Now, you are one of the new faces in the dressing room. How has your time been here evolved over the past couple of months?
It's been great. Still getting to know the guys and just being with the team. It's been a great time. I've really enjoyed it.
Now, how did Coach Arvanitis get you to play hockey here?
I got contacted by the team in the winter, and then I scheduled a visit. I think I came here in March, I would say. I had dinner with Pete, him and my family, visited the school and everything. And then I actually came back up with Mondu and his family and visited again. And obviously I loved it. The tour was great. Dinner with him was great. And I knew that I wanted to come here.
Texas has become a bit of a hotbed of hockey talent since the North Stars came down. We have a lot of players who play high school hockey in the Texas area, like you and Mondu did, and I believe Carson Bassett did as well. So for someone who played high school hockey in Texas, you played for the Dallas Stars Elite and the Texas Tigers, how would you describe the hockey scene down south?
I think it's a lot bigger than people realize. A lot of great players come from Dallas. A lot of guys who are playing high-level junior right now, Division I, pro, stuff like that. So I think for a lot of people, they'll think Texas and think that there's not much hockey or anything like that. But I think it would surprise a lot of people, and there's a lot of great players who come from there.
And the Dallas Stars have pretty much everything to do with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a Dallas Stars fan, just like Mr. Bassett was,
Yeah.
man, the Leafs are getting killed here tonight. Oh, no, it's 2-0 now. I guess that goal got way back. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I think a lot of people miss how big hockey is in the South. There's a reason the NHL expanded into these markets a bit stubbornly in a few of them, but the Coyotes and the Stars, they serve a massive purpose in terms of growing this game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think especially like Austin Matthews is from Arizona, and there's Blake Coleman's from Dallas. There's a couple more guys who are, Seth Jones, Caleb Jones played for the Dallas Stars Elite. So there's a lot of great hockey players that come from there, from the South, and I think going forward there'll be even more.
Do you think that adds a bit more to USA Hockey and what they're trying to do? Like, it's always USA and Canada always going at it in the World Juniors, in the Olympics, when the NHLers actually get to go, but that's beside the point. Yeah. But do you think that just adds a bit more to the USA's repertoire when it comes to getting elite hockey players into their systems?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just kids from Michigan, Minnesota, Massachusetts, those places. It's a lot more diverse. There's California, like you mentioned, Arizona, Texas, Florida. It's a lot different now, and it helps out USA Hockey a lot for sure.
I like how there are a good amount of players that Coach Arvanites has recruited. We have 6 Oklahomans on the team. We have a bunch of Texans, a couple of Floridians in Cavalcanti, and I believe Andrew Lowe is as well.
Yeah.
So do you think that's important for the identity of this OU team to have a big Southern backbone on their roster?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, especially the kids from Oklahoma playing here in their home state. I think that's pretty special for them for sure. And then just having a group of diverse guys from different places is really cool. Like you mentioned, 2 guys from Florida, the Texas guys, all that. It's pretty cool to have on our team.
Now, as someone who grew up in an area that knows OU quite well, what does it mean to you to be able to wear that OU on your chest when you go and play hockey?
It's pretty special, for sure. You grow up looking forward to playing college hockey, so I remember that first game against Waldorf, putting on the OU jersey and getting to play was pretty special, for sure.
It does feel pretty cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you got a little banged up against the Razorbacks, and you did miss the Alabama series. You feeling better, I'm guessing?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So what's the recovery process like for an Oklahoma hockey player?
As far as my situation, just with the concussion, there's not much you can really do other than just rest and kind of wait it out. So that was pretty difficult, seeing the team play against Alabama and not being able to play, especially the weekend we had. Would have been nice. Looked like some fun out there for sure. But, my situation, all I could do was just rest and wait. And now I think I've kind of passed that and we're good to go now.
Anita Clark and her trainers on the staff, you guys have it made with
absolutely
some of the best in the biz.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they're fantastic, 100%.
Now, I don't want to beat the dead horse because we talked about this with Coach and Carson earlier in the show, but the rankings reaction, does the unranked, does that stick in your craw a little bit?
Yeah, I saw that today. I was kind of wondering when they would come out with that first ranking and if we would be in there. So it's obviously disappointing to not be in that top 25, but I think we're looking to hopefully change that moving forward and keep working so that we can be in the top 25.
I've seen you guys play. I saw you practice last year. I've seen you practice this year. I've seen you play in several seasons. It's pretty much been my whole life. But it does feel a bit different this year. I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it just feels more complete.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we got a lot of freshmen coming in. I think Pete was able to fill a couple holes that he wanted to fill, so it helps out a lot, and I think we got a good team this year for sure, and we started out hot, and we just need to keep it going.
And that is all we have time for this evening. This has been Adam Goldstein. I'm Ben Dackey. You've been watching Hockey Time in Oklahoma. We will see you next week.